Hey, Kat.
Hi, Amanda.
So, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about our buddy read for some month. I don't know months anymore. I think it was July, but it might have no, it was June. Was it July?
We're gonna go with summer.
Cool. Our buddy read for summer, which was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Yay! Hi,
It's Kat.
and Amanda,
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Can I Bring My Book?
the podcast where besties meet books.
Do you
And
want me to
we're,
go? Do you want me to go first?
well, we're gonna first say if you have not read Atmosphere,
Oh, yeah.
go and read it, and then come back and listen to this episode because there will be spoilers.
Yeah, this is not a spoiler-free episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Are any of them spoiler free?
We try to do a good job with spoilers, but this one is just it's too much.
Right. Like this
So,
this is a full-on conversation.
yeah, so do not listen to this if you want to read the book, and you should want to read the book. So go and read it and then come back to the episode.
And if you don't mind spoilers, then stick around. There are people that don't mind spoilers. It's not my fault they don't mind them. They just don't.
Are you one of those people?
No, I am not one of those people. I
Okay.
mind spoilers very much. But my husband is one of those people. He doesn't care.
Does he like go out of his way to like find them before starting?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
but he doesn't care like if he accidentally stumbles upon it. Like he watches a lot of movie reviews, and if the movie reviewer spoils a movie, he's okay, but he knows that I'm not okay, so he'll tell me to leave
Mm, okay.
or or stop listening.
Okay.
Usually I'm not listening anyway, so it's easy. Anyway, so Atmosphere.
Yes.
If you know nothing about Atmosphere, which you might not, it is
Because it just came out on June 3rd.
Yes, it did just come out on June 3rd. And it is technically historical fiction, which Amanda does not enjoy. But maybe she doesn't think the 80s are history.
I don't think the 80s are history
She would be wrong. Anyway,
because anyone born in the 80s is not old.
yeah, but the characters were not born in the 80s.
No, but
The
I was.
characters were full-born adults. Like they were full-blown adults in the plot of the story. So I think that it qualifies as a
How
little
is
bit
it
of
actually like described? It
probably contemporary
Oh, it is
literature.
historical fiction romance. Whoa.
Anyway, it's set in the 1980s. It centers around space exploration and the astronaut program. NASA's to be exact, by the way. Obviously, we're not talking about Russia space exploration. We might be someday, but not today. And it centers around Joan Goodwin is our protagonist and the group of astronaut candidates that she goes through
Well, it's kind of like
the
the first group of
candidate
women,
training program. Yes. Well, it's not the first group of women. It is the second group.
but she is when NASA first started
When they
letting
first
people
started.
in.
Correct. So she's not part of the first group of women. She did apply to become part of that first group of women, did not get in, but then applied again and
Yes.
got in like kind of in the second round.
Yeah.
And so it is very much a melodramatic, like love story situation. So if you are not prepared to cry a few times, then these are not things that you should be reading. Anyway, that
But
was my
don't let
background.
that like, make you avoid it because it's so good.
It is so good, but if you don't want to, like if you're the kind of person who reads a book that's going to make you cry, I feel like, and you don't want that, like you don't like books that make you cry, then I feel like you're not going to think it's so good.
Well,
You're
yeah.
just going to be miserable because it's a sad book. Anyway, so as Amanda said, it is amazing. Like it is so good. It does a time jumping chapters. So part of it takes place on a space mission that's happening in the later 80s, I believe. And
80,
then I don't do time, you know that. And then 84?
84, December 29.
84. And then there's part of it that's when they're all still kind of in training school, and it jumps between the two. And when it did it the first time, like, so from that first part where it was on the space shuttle and things are kind of going to shit, and then it jumps back to what like the training process,
But summer
I
1980.
was super frustrated. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't need backstory right now. I
Yeah.
need to know what's happening on that ship. But
Yes.
then about halfway through, that completely flipped. I was like, no, I don't want to know about the ship right now, because the ship I know is going
Yes.
to be devastating, and
Yes.
I don't care about that anymore. Just keep me in the 1982 happiness, like the honeymoon glow. That's where I want to be. I don't want time to progress anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on like those like first like couple of jump backs. I was like, no, 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 no. But yeah.
I feel like once so I once Griff died in the shippy part, I was done being in the ship. Like, I did not need to jump back to the ship. At that point, I thought everything was going to go to shit, and I didn't need to know. I didn't want to know about how like every possible bad thing could happen,
Yeah.
and I couldn't handle.
And he was a character that was like really lovable.
Uh-huh.
I think at one point I texted you when we were reading this and you said that he was like golden retriever energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is 100% golden retriever energy. He is like your best friend, and ride or die. Like, he's gonna conceal everything for you.
Yep.
So Joan Goodwin in this story is a lesbian in a space program that is not, I mean, it's
In
the
a
80s.
time when
It's the
it's
80s, right?
yeah.
So, and she, in the beginning of the book, doesn't know what she is. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't know her.
She doesn't know what I feel like us as the reader don't know.
No, right. Like, you're kind of blind to it. I mean, actually, as the reader, I do know, because I read the synopsis.
Oh, I don't really read those.
So I knew going in that it was a lesbian love story.
Okay.
Like, I knew that going in. But I also really do love the way that Joan and Vanessa's relationship kind of just unfurls throughout the plot of this story, and just how understanding Vanessa is of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that the author made me think that they broke up. I
Yes.
hated that.
Yes.
Like, I was like, what everything's perfect right now.
Yes.
Why does this feel like it felt like they had been separated for years, and there
Mm-hmm.
was some big nasty breakup, and
Yep.
that's the reason why Vanessa can't talk to her.
Yep.
And I that really, like, I said, wait a minute. But then as more gets involved, I'm like, wait, it's like 1984 and they're still together, and Joan's up in space. When are they breaking up?
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
We
Are
talked
you at
about Griff,
yes.
and we talked about his golden retriever energy.
Yes.
Is he to blame for the accident? I know. I don't want to say it.
So what Catherine is asking about, Griff and
Vanessa.
Vanessa were so they're on the ship, on the spaceship, and they are having to do something outside of the ship. And so they do this thing. It has to be done manually because something broke on like a recent shuttle. And they do the thing, and then they come back into the ship, and protocol says that they have to, like close certain things. Well, the view or whatever it is, they decide not to close one thing
Right.
to take in the view better.
Griff suggests it, and
Yes.
Vanessa agrees.
Yeah.
And
And so they do it, and then something explodes.
yeah,
Something, yeah, so something happens, and there's debris flying at, like a high rate of speed, and it hits the ship in multiple areas, and a piece of it hits Griff because now this thing that, wasn't supposed to be open was open, and it's able to hit him in like his stomach,
I don't remember
chest.
the location.
Yeah. So is he to blame? Yes and no.
Right?
He is to blame for what happened to him
Yes.
because that very likely would not have happened if the other, passage or door, whatever it was closed. But
Correct.
the other debris that caused the other hole,
The cabin leak.
yes, that would have still happened regardless.
Possibly. No way of knowing.
I thought that they said it.
I don't remember that.
I thought that Vanessa was kind of like thinking back and like said, like
But is Vanessa, here's the thing though, is Vanessa just saying that
no,
to ease her own conscience?
because she had said like we left the hatch open or whatever it
Uh-huh.
was. And then I want to say like did like Joan say like we know or something like that?
I guess my issue even with that is Joan is saying things to placate Vanessa at this point, right?
True, true,
She's trying to get her to stay in the right mindset
true.
to get back down.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Like the thing was going to explode no matter what. It would not have impaled,
right,
hurt.
it would not
It would
have
not have.
hurt at all if the door had been closed.
Yes, but hitting the ship,
Unknown, I think.
I think that part would have happened, and that is what caused.
The cabin leak and the
Yeah, I mean,
depressurization.
which essentially took three.
It almost immediately killed two of them.
That was
And then Lydia was able to catch it before
who was
she died.
it
It
was
killed,
Hank. Was Hank on the ship?
yes, it
And then
was
Lydia was the
Hank.
last one to die.
No, Lydia didn't die. Lydia was the one who was, oh wait, no, she did die at the very end, didn't she?
Yes.
She was like the last one who was alive
Yes.
and who Vanessa was fighting for. And they
Yes.
told her, like, if you try too long on this door, you're not
Yes.
going to make it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Who is on the ship? So we've got Ford and Griff. Yep. Okay.
It's whoever the other person is someone who doesn't get,
It's another guy.
it is another guy, but it's someone who doesn't get mentioned. Like,
Is Hank the husband of?
Hank is the baby daddy.
Okay.
And he's the pilot who allowed Vanessa to do like extra
Steve.
pilot hours.
Steve,
Oh,
Hank.
Steve is like the senior. He's the commander. He was one of like the instructors. He was the mission commander for that.
Okay.
But Hank is the baby daddy, and her name starts with a D, but I can't remember. Is it
Donna.
Deborah? Donna. It's Donna's husband. So yeah.
Steve Hagen, Hank Redman, and Lydia Danes. Okay.
Yep, yep.
Okay. I don't know why this reminded me now, but I'm curious if did you happen to read the author's note before starting?
But probably, but I don't remember it.
Okay, so I did, and I'm really happy that I did read it because so let me just read a portion of it.
Okay.
So in it, she says, before writing this novel, I could barely recognize the Big Dipper, but I wanted to make my main character, Joan, a passionate, excitable astronomer. So I downloaded an app, picked up some books, and began studying the stars. What started as my attempt to create an interesting backdrop for a love story became the beginning of me understanding my place in the world. And like, and then it goes on, and what one of the notes that I wrote was that you you can really tell just how much effort she put into like the science and the actual
Yeah.
like technical aspect of, space exploration.
Yeah, she like Joan, it felt like Joan actually was an expert in her field
Yes.
and that she was actually knowledgeable. And it also felt like that knowledge was relevant to kind of how she got to the point where she got, right? Like
Hmm.
it wasn't like, oh, here, let me throw a bunch of space stuff at you. And okay, this has no purpose in the whole story.
Yeah.
It kind of gave Joan and Vanessa a reason to first start really getting close to each other.
Yeah.
And it felt like a good place to kind of build that relationship. But I did appreciate that it had that research in it, which I think solidifies it as historical fiction.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I have more still. I'm not done.
I'm not done either.
Oh, okay. Good, good, good. I, at this point in my life now, though, would like to talk about Barbara and Frances. So Barbara being Joan's sister.
Younger sister?
I don't
Hold
know.
on. Younger sister, yes, yes.
And Frances being Barbara's daughter.
So Joan's niece.
Joan's niece.
Yep.
And this part of the story was really hard for me. And I tried really, really hard to find redeemable qualities in Barbara and just really struggled with her character. She
Yes.
just like every time you thought, okay, you know what? She's fine. It's fine. She's got it together. We're gonna be okay. Then she would just turn around and do another like shitty thing.
Yeah.
And it was painful to kind of just see her leveraging her child
Mm-hmm.
against her sister for her own benefit. And at one point, and this is, I don't have a whole lot of notes, but this is my note, one of my big ones. For a little while there, I got really, really worried because of the way a lot of the stuff was worded, that when Frances went to boarding school, that she was going to commit suicide. It it had a lot of words, and I was like, oh man, I don't think I'm going to make it through this book if it takes this turn,
Yeah.
because it was just a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel loved. I don't want to come back home. I don't, my mother doesn't care for me. She doesn't know anything about me. And her aunt, she's not trying to blame her, but at the same time, she's a small child who
Yeah.
has grown up in a household where she didn't feel like anyone cared for her.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom's new husband is trying, but is he trying? Who knows? And I
I
guess
feel like mom wasn't trying.
mom wasn't trying. No,
Yeah.
mom definitely wasn't trying. At some point, I thought that new husband was trying more than mom was,
I think he probably was, but mom was
not helping.
not trying so much that it just there was no possible way that it was gonna.
So, like, the specific line that really got me was Barbara, Joan basically said, Barbara said she would never forgive me for hanging up on her. And it was a line that was said after a conversation that Barbara had with Joan about how she wasn't going to come home for Thanksgiving break. She was going somewhere in Europe.
Yep.
And that ended with Joan hanging up on Barbara. And Joan said, she's never going to forgive me for this. And I was like, oh shit, what's going to happen that Barbara's not going to forgive her? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is going
Mm-hmm.
to, but no, it's just that Barbara's shitty. Like
Yeah.
there was no further
Yeah.
anything. Barbara was just a shitty human.
Yeah.
And so that whole little part, I was just like, I do not enjoy this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Barbara was just an absolute mess
Yeah.
and did not deserve. I mean, she didn't deserve to be a mother and she didn't deserve to have a kid as wonderful as Frances. True. But Joan
It was also
was,
the 80s though, so
yeah, Joan was the rock in
Yeah. Oh no.
Frances's life.
Yeah.
And so the Frances Joan dynamic, that was something that really hit me hard because, like I don't have kids, but my brother and my sister do, and those are my babies. And
Mm-hmm.
I would do anything for those babies. And, like Joan was ready to give up her career
Yes.
to take care of Frances and to
Yes.
give her, the life and the love that she should have.
Yes.
Eh,
She 100%, it Frances was above everything else for her. There was nothing that was more important. Vanessa was not more important. Like Frances was Joan's number one. And that did become a little bit of a strain on Joan and Vanessa's relationship, because Vanessa couldn't, they couldn't stay over at each other's house if
Yeah,
Frances was there.
yeah,
And that became an obstacle that they had to overcome
yeah.
when Barbara decided that she needed to
Flee the country with her
deuce.
new hubby.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
peace out.
yeah. So that I remember crying at one point with the Francis
Oh
and
yeah,
Joan. Yeah, like that.
the whole boarding school thing
Yeah,
destroyed me.
yeah.
At one point you had texted me about like how many more times were you going to cry? And I had to ask you like at what point in the book you were in,
Yeah.
because I didn't have an answer without knowing. I
Yeah.
think I cried like 4 times. I think
I think three.
it was awful. It
Yeah.
was it was worth it, but it was
Part of me feels like I'm still crying.
awful. Oh yeah, no, yeah.
And I believe, like, wasn't Francis kind of like the reason why Joan, asked to be on like Capcom?
That and the throwing up.
That and the throwing. Yes, yes. So, have you seen the Sally Ride documentary on Disney Plus?
Don't ask those questions.
Okay.
You know that I don't watch documentaries.
You should. Have you
So
heard of it?
I've heard of Sally Ride.
Okay. Well, there's a documentary that just came out like around the time that this book came out,
Hmm.
and it is about Sally Ride and her career in NASA and her relationship with her life partner, who is a woman. And the timing of these two kind of struck me, because like with Sally Ride, she kept the relationship hidden.
Yeah.
Like because it was a time when it was not widely accepted. She was in a very male driven, career field, and I think it was 10 days before she died that she gave her life partner like pretty much permission to share their story.
Aw.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh
and that is definitely reflected in
yes.
the narrative of
Yes.
Atmosphere. At one point, Joan is basically told, "Hey, if your relationship with Vanessa gets out, your both of your careers are ruined.
Yeah.
You are not going to be able to do anything."
Yeah.
And
Which is just like it's so sad.
right,
Like there was just so much pain that, like they had to live with.
I
And
have a quote.
oh, go for it.
If it's, I'm not interrupting with a quote that doesn't make sense. I promise.
You look so excited with your quote.
I know. It's because I don't normally do a lot of highlighting on my Kindle, but I did this time around. I didn't do a whole lot, but I did more than I would normally do.
Nice.
And my quote is, and I think it fits: "Happiness is so hard to come by. I don't understand why anyone would begrudge anyone else for managing to find some of it."
Yep.
And I feel like that is something that really resonated. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why are you going out of your way to make someone else miserable when it has no effect on you at all? Honestly, they should have been more concerned about how sexist a lot of the other
Hmm.
candidates were. I mean, some of those pilots, I think it was the pilots specifically,
Yes.
aside
Yes.
from Hank and like one other
I
guy,
like the military, like the ones that came from military
mhm,
experience.
were
Yes.
just like downright awful. And I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like those should be your bigger concerns. But also, I mean, it's not anything new. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the end.
Maybe they had not asked for too much. Maybe they would get everything they wanted.
What?
It's a quote at the end.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they had not asked for too much. Maybe they would get everything they wanted. And so they being Joan and Vanessa, they being female astronauts, they being Francis.
Yeah.
I kind of like the ambiguity of the they in that sentence because it speaks to more than just the obvious situation. It
Yes.
applies to a lot of what's happening or what happened in the book in its entirety.
Yes. So the last page of the book,
I don't have the book. I can't tell you anything about the book.
well, but like the very last page pretty much just kind of like went one ear and out the other because for all intents and purposes, Vanessa did not make it. And that is like kind of like what we were building to was that her and Lydia did not make it because they were trying to
Correct.
get back into the atmosphere.
And
And
it goes radio silent.
yes, for
Mhm.
a lot longer than expected.
Correct.
And Joan, like has to tell herself they're gone. Vanessa is gone. She's died somewhere over California. And like, I'm just destroyed at this point because like it felt like that's what was going to happen was that we were going to lose them. Joan was going to lose Vanessa. But then in the very like last paragraph, Houston, this is Navigator.
Yeah. I have another quote from that section.
Yeah.
I'm
And
pretty sure it's from that.
like my heart was in pieces.
Yeah.
I could not see through my tears. And I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
she's alive?
Yeah.
Like part of me like still doesn't even believe it, you know? Like that's how much it destroyed me.
Yeah. No, I was right there with you. I was absolutely devastated. And I'm like, no, it's surely not. Like, there's no way. Like, and
Yeah.
then that last little bit, and I'm like, oh, thank you for not,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's like I always want like a happy ending. Like I am very much like, you know, Disney princess like love story. Like that's how I want my stories to end. A happy ending. They live happily ever after. But with this, like we were built up to something so much.
Yep.
And then when the happily ever after came, it just
Yes.
it was hard. It was
Yeah.
hard to be like, whoa.
And yeah, because in that moment before the radio silence, before she's entering the atmosphere, right before it, she finally kind of breaks down, and Joan and Vanessa have like a little heart to heart.
Yep.
And Vanessa kind of finishes that with
Because they're on Capcom. Like Joan is the
mission control.
communications, yeah, person in mission control, and like the things that you would normally tell like your loved one in a situation like this,
Everyone's listening.
yeah, they can't because there's still
The stigma is
yeah,
still there, right?
and
Like they're still worried.
they're not out, and so they
And
can't.
I think Joan is more worried about what it would mean for Vanessa
Yes.
than herself at this point. Because at this point, Joan has realized that she doesn't want to go back out in space.
Mm-hmm.
She is happy being behind the
Yep.
scene now. But she doesn't know if the same thing is true for Vanessa. And I think at this point she's trying more to cover for her. And that, like, one of the last lines that Vanessa says in there is, you know, for me, as long as you all know what you meant to me, it all worked out fine. And that one
Yep.
really struck me. I was like, oh fuck, this is
Mm-hmm.
this is not going to go well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the next little part is, Joan is saying, I should have, for you,
Yeah.
I should have gone out. I should rail. She's saying she's going to rail against the world at every turn. She's going to scream. She's going to fight. She's going to make sure that people like them are treated better and
Yep.
not on the edges of society anymore. And it really resonated. Like, okay, you know what? This is a fight that people are still fighting to this day. And I really appreciated the way that Taylor Jenkins Reid kind of handled it. And I thought that it was really well done.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those are my thoughts on this beautiful story. And if you haven't read it, you really should.
Yep. Get on it.
Is it trope talk time? And
It's trope
now
talk
I
time.
need a trope from this story.
Yep. And I'm going, and I've got my own,
You can go ahead and start. It's
and I'm
fine.
going first, and I have found family
Oh, okay.
because that's the group that okay, so Joan's
Oh,
group on her
I got one.
oh boy. Who was Joan's group on her ship? Or her flight or whatever you want to call it.
Don't care, because Joan's flight was unremarkable because all she did was vomit,
That's true. Okay.
which was
So
a little disappointing.
it kind of was.
You got me started again. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so I was gonna say like the group that Joan went like flew up with and the group that like Vanessa flew up with, but honestly, like everyone that kind of went through like the training together, they're all. So it's Joan, it's Vanessa, it's Griff, it's
Donna,
Hank and Donna,
a little bit of
Lydia,
Lydia,
even
even
though like
though,
she's
like, Lydia at the end there, I love you,
yes,
but man, did you make me hate you
yeah,
for a good chunk of time. I thought Lydia was going to do some really shitty things,
yeah,
and I'm glad that she didn't.
yeah.
And I'm sure that she's glad that she didn't too.
I always feel like there's got to be like that one in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
My trope is goody two shoes, bad girl.
Ooh,
Because Joan is as straight laced as they come.
yep.
She's following as they come. That's what she said. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, inappropriate. Not inappropriate. Anyway, Joan, she is just like, textbook student. She's very studious. She's all about her family. She's very giving. She's looking out for everyone else. And then in flies Vanessa in her red convertible and leather jacket and fucking sunglasses to shit on her parade. Oh my gosh, Vanessa, yes, please.
Yeah.
And sorry, Joan, you're not doing it, but Vanessa, yeah.
All right, who do you think that is on the cover?
That's Vanessa.
Okay.
That's Vanessa on the, oh, shit.
Right?
No, it's Joan, because Joan is the one who gets the Ray-Bans from Hank.
But doesn't the
But
aviators?
Yes, who has what? They have different hair.
They have different hair, and I
in
think
my
Vanessa's
brain,
has
Vanessa's is the curly, messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's Vanessa.
But I feel like it should be Joan on the cover. So
Oh man, now I gotta
I
look up
know.
what's Goodwin's her last name?
Goodwin and Vanessa Ford.
Let's see if the internet will tell me what she looks like based on this story. Probably not. How is Joan Goodwin described? I know how to do internet searches, I promise. Average height, stocky, light brown hair.
So the internet is telling me that it's not a specific person on the cover.
Okay, I could see that, right? It's just a stock photo
But
of a
that's
lady.
mean.
But I also think that it is one of them, or it's inspired by one. Maybe it's purposefully ambiguous as to which of the two. Maybe it's both of them. Anyway, are we done? Is this episode over, Amanda?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Bye, Amanda. Thanks so much for joining us.
Happy reading. And as always, can I bring my book?